Hello, ladies. Come on in. I am so excited for this wedding planning event today. As you're hopping on, please put in the chat. It should be to your right. Just let me know, when are you getting married? When's your wedding date? I would love to know. So today we are going to go over how to plan all the details you need for your wedding day so that you can enjoy every moment of it. And this event today is for brides who want their perfect dream wedding where they can relax and have fun and just enjoy their special day. And they want to glorify the Lord in their wedding and in their marriage, a day where you can really celebrate this union that God is creating between the two of you. But right now, I know that some of you feel completely lost. You have no idea where to start or what to do next. You've never planned a wedding before. Like, this is totally new territory for you. And on top of that, you have everybody else telling you their opinions and their ideas and what you should do. But all you want is to have your perfect day, the day that you have dreamed about. Some of you since you were 5, that's me. And you just want a day where everyone has an amazing time. They just can't stop talking about it after the wedding is over. But you know that you are missing so many things. You just have no idea what. So that is what today is all about, making sure that you get everything you want with your wedding day. All right, let me see in the chat. I see some people putting their wedding dates in. All right, Sydney, you're getting married next year. That is so exciting. How are things going? Oh my gosh, Michelle, you were getting married in 2 months. How are you feeling? That's so exciting. All right, keep putting your wedding dates in the chat because I want to see when y'all are getting married. Let me know. So I do want to thank you guys at the end for hopping on with me today. And I have a special gift for those of you who are ready to take the next steps to get your perfect dream wedding. And this is my Absolutely Nothing Missed checklist. This checklist has literally every single thing that you need for your wedding day. If you are worried that you're missing something, honey, this Absolutely Nothing Missed checklist will be a lifesaver for you. It has all the big things, all the little things, and all the teeny tiny things that you just didn't even think about, okay? So make sure if you want this, if this sounds helpful, make sure to stay until the end until you can, or so you can find out how to snag it, okay? So over the years, I have seen 3 different weddings planned, okay? So the first type of wedding that I have seen planned is the nightmare wedding. This is the wedding where literally everything goes wrong. The caterers come late, the bride spills something on her dress, the music is terrible, the DJ says the wrong names and plays the wrong songs, people leave early. Literally everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and you have a terrible night and you're so upset. The second wedding that I've seen planned is the I wish wedding. So at the end of the wedding, you are so relieved that it's all done, that all the stress is over with. You were just so ready to be done with the wedding. But there were things throughout the entire night that you just weren't happy with and that could have gone better. And it didn't take your breath away. And so you were left wishing with a different wedding. You had a lot of regrets. But the third type of wedding is the perfect dream wedding. Oh my goodness, absolutely nothing could have gone more perfectly. You were on cloud 9 the entire night. Everyone had a blast. They all were on the dance floor and the food was amazing and people went back for seconds and the decorations were just drop dead gorgeous. You would not have changed a single thing about it. So I want to know which wedding y'all want. And I have a pretty good idea, but put it in the chat. Do you want 1, the nightmare wedding, 2, the I wish wedding, or 3, the perfect dream wedding? Okay, I'm already seeing lots of 3s. Awesome. So you are in the right place, girly, because this event today was literally designed just for you. So if we haven't met, it is so nice to meet you. I'm Chelsea, and I help brides and grooms plan their perfect dream weddings where all they have to do is just wake up and show up to the wedding and not worry about a single thing. And the way that I help them get there is with the Dream Wedding Way. And this is a method that I created that hundreds of couples have used to plan every detail of their wedding, where everything went smoothly, there were no mishaps, everyone had a great time. And I know that you want your perfect dream wedding too. And so today, let's make it happen. Let's figure out what that perfect dream wedding looks like for you and how to plan it in as little time and stress and money as possible. So all the time, I see brides making 3 big mistakes with their wedding planning that gives them either the nightmare weddings or the I wish weddings. And I want to go through these 3 mistakes with you so that you can realize if you're making them too, and we can do something different that'll help you get to your perfect dream wedding. Okay, so here we go. If you are a note taker, get ready. You will want to write lots of notes. So mistake number 1. I see so many brides jumping right into the planning before getting their heart and their mind right first. And I know that you want to start planning right away. You are so excited. You know you have so many things to get done. But there are things that you have to have in place and make sure of first before you get to planning the specific details. And that's having your heart and mind right. For example, who here knows that they are a people pleaser? You just want everyone to be happy and you want them to like your decisions. You get really worried if you did anything to possibly offend someone or make them upset. Just put a 1 in the chat if this is you. But because that's totally me too. I am just as guilty. So I want to actually dig a little deeper here. I want you to ask yourself this question. Why do you want to please other people? What's really underneath it? So to help you brainstorm, I want you to fill the blank in here. If they're not happy with me, then what? And you don't have to put it in the chat. You could if you want, but you could just answer it yourself in your mind. What are you afraid of happening if they're not happy with you or if they don't like your decisions? Maybe it's something like this, because this is what I felt. Okay, if they're not happy with me, then they won't want me, or they'll leave me, or they won't love me anymore. I'm not good enough. And then it really just uncovers this fear of rejection. And this is exactly what I went through when I was planning my wedding. And so many of us have this fear of rejection, this belief that we aren't good enough, this feeling like deep down that we're not worthy of being loved on our own, that we have to earn somebody else's love, that we have to do things and perform and achieve. Oh my gosh. I know some of you can relate. And all of these things there we go, grammar. All of these things is baggage that we're actually carrying around with us. This fear of rejection. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. And if you keep this baggage with you as you plan your wedding, then you are going to feel so much pressure to keep people happy and to just make decisions that other people approve of so that you can avoid this fear of being rejected. Yeah, I see someone in the chat. Yeah, you definitely go through this. And so you feel pressure to make these decisions like which wedding dress you get and which venue you book with and who do you invite. You're going to be literally running yourself into the ground trying to please everyone, which is absolutely impossible to do, by the way. And by the time that you actually get all of the details planned, you won't even have a wedding that you want, because it'll be a wedding that your mom wants or your sister wants or a wedding that your mother-in-law wants. And it won't be your perfect dream wedding because you were so caught up in trying to make everyone else happy that you couldn't even really focus on what was actually best for your fiance. But when you do deal with all this baggage and you work through this fear of rejection and not feeling good enough, then you'll stop planning your wedding from a place of fear or pressure or obligation to make people happy. Instead, you'll actually be able to plan it from a place of joy and a place of peace and knowing who you actually are in Christ and knowing that He is calling you to leave your father and mother and become one with your husband and to honor and to submit to Him, not all of your family and friends. And you will actually feel the freedom to make decisions that are best for you and your fiance, and the freedom that will allow you to plan your perfect dream wedding. So then if you want to plan a wedding that you and your fiance actually enjoy and that honors God and that still honors and loves your family and your friends and your in-laws, then you need to first deal with your baggage. Because unfortunately, if you don't work through this baggage now, it's going to follow you straight into your marriage. And who's going to get your baggage right along with you? Your poor hubby. And he'll have to deal with this baggage too. So your perfect dream wedding doesn't happen just because you've planned all the details. It happens because you've worked through your baggage first. Okay, mistake number 2, not setting a budget that matches your priorities. I see this happening all of the time. So how many of you, when you started the planning, you didn't actually create a budget? You just said, oh, I'll just play the budget by ear and I'll see how much things cost. Put a 2 in the chat if you have done that. So here's a hypothetical scenario, okay? Let's say Susie Q here is doing this too. She didn't actually set a budget. She's just winging it. And she starts booking her vendors right away without actually having a tangible budget. So she finds a venue that she loves. She goes on tour. It's her dream venue. She loves it. And they quote her $4,500. But they tell her that another couple is looking at this venue on her same date. So she gets really worried and she acts really fast and books the venue right away because, well, she's afraid that it'll get taken if she doesn't act fast. So that's $4,500. And then Susie Q finds a florist in town who quotes her $2,000, okay? And she doesn't really know a reasonable budget for flowers. She doesn't really know how much flowers cost. Well, so she ends up booking her because, you know, you need flowers. So that's $2,000. And then Susie Q, you like the name, starts looking into caterers. Well, when she booked this venue for $4,500, she didn't realize that this venue required her to use their own caterers. So she has no other choice. So that's $5,000 down the drain already. And so Susie Q has already racked up $11,500 and she doesn't even have her DJ or her photographer or bartenders, none of that. And she is beyond stressed out because she's thinking, oh my gosh, weddings are so expensive. I'm not going to be able to afford my dream wedding. Like, how much is this going to end up costing me? And she thinks that the problem is that she just doesn't have enough money. She thinks the problem that weddings are too expensive and she gets upset with everyone for charging her an arm and a leg. But that's not the problem. The problem is she didn't actually sit down and create a budget in the first place. That's her problem. And if you're doing what Susie Q is doing and not actually setting a tangible budget, then you are going in blind, girlfriend. How in the world can you keep your budget in check if you don't even have a plan for it? And for those of you who do have a budget and you have set a budget, that is awesome. Like, give yourself a pat on the back. That's great. But I want to ask you this. When you created your budget, did you actually figure out what your priorities were? Did you ask yourself, okay, what are the most important things about this wedding to me that I want to spend my money on? Because knowing your budget is only one part, one piece of the puzzle here. You need to know your budget, but you also have to know where it should go. And your priorities will tell you that. They will show you exactly what to spend your money on. And if you don't know what your priorities are, then you'll spend like Susie Q here, not get the things that are actually important to you, because she spent $11,500 on these 3 things, right? And she realizes after actually looking at her budget that she only has $3,500 left. That's it to spend on all of these things. She only has $3,500 left. So she can't get her $3,000 dream dress that she's had her eye on for months. Or she can't afford the $500 limo that she really wanted as their going away car. She can't get these things that actually really mattered to her because she didn't first set her budget and she didn't know her priorities and what to spend it on. So to keep this from happening to you, you have to have a tangible budget, an actual number, and you have to know your priorities. Because if you know these 2 things, and you know what's most important to you, then you can stretch that budget and maximize it So let me show you how. Let's say that your top 3 priorities are having alcohol and a good photographer and the wedding dress that you've had on your Pinterest board for a year. And you know that these things, venue, catering, DJ, flowers, and decor, are not super important to you. So instead of spending $3,000 on flowers and decor, you're totally happy with what $1,000 gets you. So you could put that $2,000 toward your photographer or toward your wedding dress. You could get that designer dream dress that you've been looking at, that you are, heart eyes at, or you could add on a videographer to your photography package. So you could end up getting more than you thought that you could when you first started off. But if you don't know your budget, if you're just going in willy-nilly and without a plan, and you don't have your priorities, you don't know what's most important to you, you're going to stress out. And there will be things that you probably can't have that you wish that you had. There's going to be lots of regrets. And the bottom line is this, y'all. If you aren't in control of the budget, then the budget is going to have control over you. Okay, on to mistake number 3. Trying to plan everything all at once. Okay, who feels like they have a never-ending to-do list? You feel like you have so much stuff to get done. You have the venue, your dress, your caterers, your budget, your invitations, your flowers, your centerpieces and decor, your wedding favors. So you don't know, though, which things you should do first, the order that they need to be done in, and which things you need to do now and which things can wait to be done later. You don't know these things. So you try to do as much as you can all at once. But then what happens? Your planning becomes a jumbled mess. There is so much stuff on that to-do list. It is completely unorganized. You have no plan. You have no order to it. You don't even know what you need to focus on or what to do next. Like, do you need to do all these things and what actually isn't necessary? Well, I have great news for you, hun. You do not have to keep feeling like this, okay? You do not have to keep stressing yourself out with this chaotic to-do list. So you want to know how. You want to know the secret. Okay, here's the secret. Plan one thing at a time. That's it. What do I mean by this? I mean that if you need to find a venue, then don't go looking for DJs until you found your venue. Or if you started getting quotes from caterers, then don't go searching for photographers at the same time. Do one thing at a time. That's it. And I know that you're thinking, but Chelsea, how in the world will I get everything done if I only do one thing at a time? Well, honey, you sure won't get everything done in time if you keep planning like this. You are going to miss so many details. You won't even know which things you've already planned and what still needs to be done. It'll be a mess. You won't get everything done in time. But when you plan one thing at a time, you will have an easy step-by-step process that you can follow. And your wedding planning will go from super chaos and stress and pulling your hair out to easy and simple and organized. And you're going to know, okay, I need to work on this thing today. And you'll know exactly which thing you need to do. And once it's checked off, you'll know the next thing that you need to do. So planning all the details isn't about how fast you plan them or how many you plan at once. It's about how smart you plan. And if you want to know exactly which things you need to do when and know exactly what that step-by-step thing is, then make sure to stick around because I'll go over that later on today. So right now, you are over here on Stressed Out Island, right? But you want to get over here to Perfect Dream Wedding Paradise. And you have 3 different ways that you could get from point A to point B. So the first way, option 1, is you stay over here on Stressed Out Island. You don't know what to do first. You forget a bunch of stuff. You end up having a nightmare wedding. And everything goes wrong because you didn't have a plan and you just didn't know how to make this process easy. So that's option 1. Option 2, you could try and swim over by yourself to Perfect Dream Wedding Paradise. So you start swimming in the DIY wedding waters, okay? You have your family and friends help you. You get as many free checklists from the Knot and Pinterest as you can. But in these DIY wedding waters, there are sharks and lots of them. And these sharks are the baggage that we talked about earlier. All of the people pleasing, the fear of rejection, feeling that you're not good enough. And you don't know how to work through your baggage. So then you're left with the I wish wedding in these waters, okay? And you end up with a wedding that isn't your own perfect dream wedding, but that's someone else's perfect dream wedding. So those are the first 2 options. But option 3 is I have a helicopter, okay? And this helicopter will fly you over from Stressed Out Island to Perfect Dream Wedding Paradise using the Dream Wedding Way, the method that I talked about earlier that hundreds of my brides and grooms have used to get their perfect dream weddings. So I want to know, do you want to fly over with me on my helicopter and get your perfect dream wedding? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. But I'm hoping to see yeses because that's why you're here. All right, yes, I'm seeing so many yeses in the chat. Man, I can't speak today. Okay, so the Dream Wedding Way is this. It is the only thing you need to plan all the details for your perfect dream wedding. And it is broken up into 5 different parts. 5 things that you need to get your perfect dream wedding. So here is the first part. Working through your baggage. So you are feeling so stressed out, trying to please everyone. You are having a hard time planning your wedding the way that you want to. You are so worried about making everyone else happy, and then you feel selfish if you end up making a decision that you want. Oh my gosh, I know that I am speaking to some of you right now. But if you try to please everyone, it's impossible to have your perfect dream wedding because then you're planning a wedding that everybody else wants. Well, this is a part of that baggage that we talked about earlier. And do you remember what we were afraid of if other people didn't like the decisions that we made? Do y'all remember? We had thoughts like, they won't want me, they'll leave me, I'm not good enough. And underneath all of these thoughts was that fear of rejection, right? Well, underneath every single fear that we have is a lie. And the way that we can work through our baggage and find freedom from that is by finding the actual lie or belief that's underneath it. What do we actually believe in our hearts is true? So in this case, the fear would be that fear of rejection. And the lie would be, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not loved. I don't deserve to have good things, something like that. Well, there's actually 2 types of beliefs that we're working with here. There's what we believe in our minds, our head belief, and then there's what we believe in our hearts, what we feel to be true. And these beliefs, these heart beliefs, we've come to believe from our experiences and really just from the lies of Satan, to be honest. And there's this wall between your head and your heart. There's this wall. There's this thing that you can't get over. Gosh, how many times have you meditated on scripture and you know the truth, like you know that you're loved, you know that God's love is enough, yet you still struggle with not feeling good enough or feeling worthy, or having this fear of being rejected or being abandoned. And there's just this stronghold that you can't get past. Well, thank the Lord that He can break through this wall that is keeping us in bondage. The Bible says that His word is alive and active and is sharper than a double-edged sword, and it penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, and it judges the thoughts and the attitudes of the heart. So we have to go to God to work through our baggage. We have to hear from Him and hear from His word for the truth in this situation. And Jesus Himself knew how important going away and being in fellowship with the Father was. And God tells us, be still and know that I am God. Sorry, that's my puppy playing with her squeaky ball. And so we need to consciously sit at his feet as an act of our will so that we can hear from him. But the underlying heart belief sometimes is not always super obvious, which is why we use a 5-part map to help us navigate our emotions and find the heart belief that's underneath it all. So here's the 5 parts. We start out with our emotion. How are you feeling about the current situation? Maybe it's how you're feeling so stressed out that people won't stop giving their opinions. And then as we figure out what you're actually feeling and what those emotions are, God might bring a memory to mind and remind you of another time in your life where you felt that same thing. And through these memories and these emotions, the root belief, the heart belief will come to the surface, and you'll realize what that lie is behind these feelings. And then once you know the actual root belief, then we can take it to Jesus. And we can go to him and say, Lord, I know that what I am believing right now is not true, but I feel like it's true in my heart. Can you help me to see the truth here? And his words and his truth and the strength and light and power of Scripture will start getting rid of your baggage. It will break through and you'll know it. Like when you hear from him, when he gives you that truth, you will know it instantly. It is an instant change, and it's just like something breaks and a huge burden is lifted off your shoulders. And it's through these breakthroughs that you'll start getting rid of your baggage, and you won't feel like you have to carry it anymore. And you can just let it go, like without trying to force yourself and without trying to convince your heart of the truth. It will just be natural because Jesus will have taken care of it. And once your baggage is gone, girl, you are going to have so much fun planning your perfect dream wedding. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the feeling like no longer feeling like you have to please other people anymore, and no longer feeling like you're being selfish if you do what's actually best for you and your fiance and what's actually honoring the Lord? And you will actually get to plan your dream wedding, and you will be planning this wedding from a place of confidence and love and knowing who you really are in Christ. And John 8:32 says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Working through your baggage does not happen through willpower or self-discipline. It's only through the power of the cross and the word of God that strongholds can be broken. Okay, part 2 of the Dream Wedding Way is clarify. So we worked through our baggage, and now it's time to clarify. So who has all of these ideas swimming in your head and you have no idea which ones to go with? Put a 1 in the chat if that's you. Or who has absolutely no idea what you want? You have no ideas. You're just lost. Put a 2 in the chat if that's you. You are not the girl who planned her dream wedding when she was 10 years old, okay? Well, this is exactly why I created this step of the Dream Wedding Way. If you're a bride that has too many ideas, then this step gives you clarity on which ideas to actually go with. And if you're a bride who has no idea what you want, then this step shows you exactly what to plan. So there are 2 parts to this step, okay? There's the wedding clarity exercise and there's a vision board. So let's talk about the wedding clarity exercise first. So with this exercise, you are going to envision every single thing about your perfect dream wedding. And when you do this, you need to envision it without any limitations or any of the world's expectations, because it's only when you turn off that brain and actually allow your heart to speak that you're going to find clarity on what you actually are wanting. So I'm actually going to take you through a little snippet of what I take my brides through who work with me in my wedding planning membership. But I'm just going to do a little tiny part today with you, okay? So I want you to go ahead and close your eyes. Just take some deep breaths. Focus on your breath. And I want you to imagine it's your wedding day and you are at the wedding venue. You are getting ready. You have your hair and makeup done. You had some mimosas with your girls. You look absolutely gorgeous. You get into your dress and you feel so beautiful. You just want to cry when you see yourself in it. And then your coordinator comes to the bridal suite. She's like, okay, it's time for this ceremony. Let's go. So you grab your bouquet. Your maid of honor holds your train as you walk over to the ceremony and you stand behind the doors. Everyone's already up at the altar except you. And you hear your song. It comes on. And then the coordinator opens the doors. What is the first thing you see? You see your groom standing there, a huge smile on his face. And as you walk down the aisle, you look to your left. Who do you see there? I said family, friends. Who do you see? You look to your right. As you walk down the aisle, you just notice the absolute beauty of your ceremony space, the flowers, the decor. What do you see? And as you get up to the altar and the officiant does his little sermon, he stops and he says, I want you to take a moment to look behind you at your bridesmaids. Who's standing there? Who is there with you, supporting you? Who has been there since day one? So excited for you and your fiance. All right, you can open your eyes. I love this exercise. Oh my gosh, it is so much fun. And so you need to go through your entire wedding day like this, every single detail. And for those of you who are in my membership, that is exactly what we do. We just walk through the rest of your day just like that. And we'll picture every single aspect, the food, the dancing. And then once you do this part, okay, once you are so clear on what kind of wedding you want and the theme and the colors and the decor, all of that, then you know your vision and the kind of wedding you want, and you need to create a vision board that brings it to life. You could do this on Pinterest or a poster board. You could do it on Canva if you use Canva. And you're going to put on your vision board exactly what you imagined in the wedding clarity exercise, okay? So then, during your wedding planning process, you can just look at your vision board and be like, okay, I'm looking for this kind of venue. Or when you go do a consultation with the baker, you could just show them what kind of cake you want, and they'll know exactly what you're looking for. So here's actually an example of a vision board that I created for a romantic themed wedding. Oh, so beautiful. So many candles, so fairy tale-like. So for my brides who are in my wedding planning membership, you actually get all my inspiration boards for whatever style, whatever theme your wedding is, whether it's traditional, classic, boho, industrial, adventurous. I have boards for every type of bride. So you could just use my boards if you wanted to, if you don't feel like making them from scratch, or you could just use it as a template and, you know, add your own ideas on top of that. But when you have a clear vision for your perfect dream wedding, then you can make it come to life. And I want to introduce you to Kiana. So Kiana was a bride who she thought she knew what she wanted. She thought she did. But as she went through the Dream Wedding Way and the wedding clarity exercise and the vision board and all of that, she realized, wow, me and my fiance actually really wanted different things than we thought. And she says, we have a better vision now of what we want. It was completely different from what we were thinking. We have a color scheme, a venue idea, and a thorough list of the wants we have. So she was able to come up with her priorities and plan her wedding with that. So we now have your vision, you have your style, you have your theme, and now it's time to prioritize. So if you don't know your budget and what you should be spending it on, then that budget will get the better of you. Just like we talked about earlier. Remember Susie Q, who didn't know her budget or her priorities until it was way too late, and who didn't end up getting what she actually wanted. We do not want that to happen to you. And that's why I created this step, because you're actually going to sit down with your future husband and come up with a plan. So there are 3 parts to this step, okay? 3 parts. You need to know, 1, how much you have to spend, and it has to be a tangible number. The second thing you need is all your potential expenses and what they cost. Every single thing that you're going to have to pay for this wedding, you need to know. The big things, the small things, the tiny things, everything. And you need to know what you can expect to pay for all of these things and what actually is a reasonable amount to spend on something. And then the third thing you need to know is what your actual priorities are. What things are truly important to you and to your fiance? What do you care about the most? So y'all are actually going to sit down together and figure out what your priorities are. What is actually a priority to you? Because, spoiler alert, not everything on that to-do list is a priority, okay? I'm just going to give you that one right there. So what are your absolute non-negotiables? If you could only have 3 things for your wedding day, what would they be? What is most important to you? And when you're driving off in that limo that night, what do you want to be thinking? Oh my gosh, my wedding day was so perfect because of this and this and this. And so you'll be able, once you have these 3 things, you will be able to look at your list of potential expenses and their estimated prices, and you'll ask yourself, okay, is a venue really worth $3,000 to us? Or do we care enough about photo and video to spend $2,500 on that? This will help you figure out which things are actually your true priorities. And then you can allocate your budget to those things. And then you can just cross off things from your list that aren't super important to you, which will save you a lot of money as a result. And if you don't know what the estimated expenses are for everything, and you don't want to have to figure it out yourself, then the Brides in My membership, which I'll talk about later if y'all are interested, they actually get this really helpful tool where you can just put in your budget that you have, and it will calculate all your estimated expenses for you. So then you don't have to wonder, okay, is this too high? Is this too much? Am I spending too much here? So if this is interesting, if this interests you, just stick around until the end and I can share more about my membership and how you can join. Okay, part 4 of the Dream Wedding Way. We've worked through our baggage, you have clarity, you know your budget and priorities, and now we actually get to plan, the most exciting part. So you have absolutely no idea what to plan, right? Either you have no idea where to start planning, or you're totally lost on what needs to be done next. And your brain feels like a jumbled mess with everything that needs to be done. And this is why I created the rule of 1 and 3. This process is exactly what I use with my own couples and what I use for myself to plan my own couples' weddings. And I want to share it with you. So the rule of 1 is what we talked about earlier, where you plan one thing at a time. That's it. If you're finding your venue, that's it. You only focus on your venue until you get it done, nothing else. So you're going to work on one thing, but you're going to have 3 different options at a time. So let's take your venue. You're going to have the one thing, your venue, that you're focusing on, but you're only going to have 3 different options of that one venue. So let me explain. You have venue A, venue B, venue C. Okay, but you don't like venue C, so you take it off the list, and then you can add another venue. So you only have that 3 options, those 3 options at a time, until you find your perfect one. And you're going to use this for everything else, every single vendor that you need. Plan one of them at a time with only 3 different options at a time. No more than 3. Because listen, analysis paralysis is a real thing. How many of you have gone to Google and typed in wedding venue near me or wedding photographer near me, and literally hundreds of results pop up, and you're even more overwhelmed than before? So that's why we use the rule of 1 and 3, so you don't get overwhelmed and you know, okay, I'm focusing on this right now, and here are my 3 options. Oh my gosh, that is so much simpler and so much easier. So with the rule of 1 and 3, you actually need to know what you're working on, right? And when you need to get it done by. You need to have a customized timeline for your wedding date that tells you in order what you need to do step by step so you know what to focus on. You need a checklist that has all of your tasks written out and make sure that you aren't missing a single detail for your wedding day. And if you want a timeline and a checklist that's customized to your specific wedding date and that tells you exactly what to do and when, then my wedding planning membership includes this, and I'll talk about it later today if y'all are interested. Perfect dream weddings are not planned frantically. They're planned when you know exactly which steps to take. So I want to introduce you to Amanda. Oh man. When Amanda got engaged, she was so stressed. She was so overwhelmed. She didn't know what she was doing. She never planned a wedding before. She was completely lost. But then she started working with me and using the Dream Wedding Way. And this is what she said. I had a detailed plan for everything that needed to be done and when. I started out wedding planning feeling totally overwhelmed. But she took a situation that was stressful for everyone and made it easy and fun. And that is available to you too. And here are pictures of her wedding day. So beautiful. Oh, it turned out so gorgeous. Okay, this is the last step. This is what you want. You just want to enjoy your day. And now that you have all these other steps in place, you can. You've worked through your baggage. You're able to plan your dream wedding from a place of joy and peace and knowing who you are in Christ. You've gotten your clarity. You know exactly what your priorities are. You have your budget. You're planning everything. You planned everything with the rule of 1 and 3. You had your customizable timeline. You got everything in place. And you won't even have to worry about things going wrong because everything will already be set and planned and in place. And you can just wake up the morning of your wedding day and not worry about a single thing because you know 100% that you've planned everything. And even if there are mishaps, even if there are hiccups, you have a plan in place. You have a contingency plan. You have an emergency plan. And you can just genuinely enjoy your perfect dream wedding and celebrate the amazing thing that God is doing with you. So here's Trevor and Kayla. They were able to enjoy every single moment of their wedding day because they had the Dream Wedding Way to find things and point things out to them that they weren't even thinking of. And they were able to enjoy their wedding even when there were hiccups and they didn't even know about it, which is really, really cool. So it is time for you, my dear, to stop freaking out about planning and start enjoying this amazing time of your life. And to start planning your wedding from a place of peace and excitement instead of feeling the need to please everybody else. And this is exactly what the Dream Wedding Planning Membership was created for. And I would love for you to be a part of it because I know that planning a wedding is something totally new for you. You've never planned a wedding before, and some of you are planning it all by yourself. You feel like you have no help, and you don't want to dish out thousands of dollars to hire a full wedding planner to do it for you. So this month-to-month membership gives you direct guidance from me, a professional wedding planner since 2013, at a fraction of the cost. And I walk you during this membership, I walk you step by step through your entire planning process, from choosing your date to who you should invite on your guest list, to finding all your vendors, to making sure you aren't missing anything for the wedding day. Because my whole heart behind this is that you get your perfect dream wedding and that you're actually able to use this time to grow in your relationship with each other and with the Lord. So I want to give you guys a bird's eye view of what you're actually going to get access to in this membership. So there are 3 parts that you get inside the Dream Wedding Planning Membership. So the first thing is the Dream Wedding Way, which was what had those 5 parts to it. So this is the proven method that hundreds of my couples have used. that works through your baggage so that you can plan your perfect dream wedding with freedom and joy and not feel selfish about doing what you want. It clarifies your vision so that you know exactly what to plan, whether you have all these ideas and you don't know which ones to choose, or you have no idea what you want. It figures out your budget and what your priorities are so that your budget is stretched and maximized and that you get way more than you thought that you could. It tells you specifically which tasks need to be done and when. It gives you a customized timeline that's customized to you and the amount of time that you have and the length of your engagement. And it makes sure that every detail is planned. Let me move my little thingy here so y'all can see. There we go. It makes sure every detail is planned and ready so that you can relax and enjoy every moment of your day. Oh, my mouse went. There we go. Okay, so the second thing, let's see. The second part that you get is the Wedding Planning Resource Vault. Y'all, this is probably the best part of the membership. So you get access to over 25 of my wedding planning timelines and checklists and spreadsheets and PDFs that give you my expert guidance and confidence. And it's also all customizable, so it can fit perfectly to your wedding with your wedding date, the time, the theme, all of that. And so some of these resources that you get, questions to ask each vendor so that then when you go to a venue tour or a meeting and then they ask, so what questions do you have? And you're just like, I don't know, like what should I be asking? So that will be very helpful to you. And then you get all of these bonus resources, so much great stuff. So the third part that you'll get is the fast action bonus, what we talked about earlier, the absolutely nothing missed checklist. So if you sign up today for the membership, you will get the absolutely nothing missed checklist as a fast action bonus. And honey, if you have everything on this list, you are good to go. So this membership you could get today. Wow, that was weird. You can get today for just $47. It's $47 a month. It is month to month. You can join however long you want. You could join for 2 years. You could join for 6 months. You could join for 3 months and then cancel and then join later on. Whatever you need to do, it's just $47 a month. But I want to give you all a free 14-day trial. And yes, if you sign up for the trial today, you still get the fast action bonus, the absolutely nothing missed checklist, because I want you guys to see if this is something that's a good fit for you. So sign up for the 14-day trial and check it out, see if it's for you. And then if it's not, just cancel and you won't be charged at all. So I am putting up this link here. Let me do this. There we go. Okay. You should see on the right side of your screen, like an offer button or something for the Dream membership. So just click on that and can you all check that link out for me and just make sure that it works because, you know, technical difficulties. All right, but y'all can go ahead and sign up for the membership, get your free 14-day trial. So this is everything that's included, $47 a month. You can cancel at any time. And go ahead and get the trial. It is free to everyone. So remember Kiana, who thought that she wanted these things, but she actually wanted different things. And she was able to come up with real clarity and get a great vision. And Amanda, who felt so lost and overwhelmed. And the Dream Wedding Way made things so much easier for her and actually really fun and exciting. And then Trevor and Kayla, who had the best time of their lives and who didn't have to worry about hiccups or anything going wrong or messing up. So I'm going to put a 7-minute timer up here. Let me move my screen there. I don't know why it keeps turning blue. And so in these 7 minutes, you'll see the timer is already going. This is the 7 minutes that you have that if you join the membership within these 7 minutes, then you get the absolutely nothing missed checklist, okay? So if y'all have questions, this is a great time to ask them. Just type your question in the chat box right there and hit enter, and then it'll show up for me. And I'm just going to apologize in advance. I am so sorry if I don't see your question. There are quite a few that pop up, so I try to get to as many as I can. All right, so, oh my gosh, I'm seeing some of you joining. Yay, Krista. I'm so excited to have you in the membership. It is going to be so helpful for you. I see Krista. Taylor, welcome, girlfriend. I'm so excited to have you in there. Okay, let me get to some questions. I already see some coming through. All right, how will we receive this membership? Great question. So when you sign up for the free 14-day trial, you will get an email in your inbox. And actually, too, as soon as you check out on the checkout page, you put in your credit card and sign up for the free 14-day trial, it will direct you to the course content where you can log in and all of that. Make sure to save your login info, like your username and your password, and bookmark that page at the top so then you can refer to it and come back to it. But in addition to that, you will, in addition to that, you will also get an email as well that will take you to the portal and, you know, give you your login and all of that. So I hope that answers your question. All right. What if I have my venue and a couple vendors already booked? Yeah, the great thing about this membership is you can be anywhere in your wedding planning process. It doesn't matter. You could have just gotten engaged yesterday. You could be getting married next week, okay? It does not matter. And when you sign up, you will be taken to your online course portal. And this is where everything will just be nice and organized for you. So everything will be in chronological order, and it's super easy. It's like a huge table of contents where you can just click on whatever topic that you need, whether it's confirming your vendors or choosing your wedding date or knowing how to cut down your guest list. So it's in order for you, super easy to navigate, and just really, really great for wherever you are in your wedding planning journey. Okay, how long do I get the membership for? However long you want. So it is month to month, $47 per month. So if you sign up for the free 14-day trial today, you get your free 14 days. If you do not cancel by the 14th day, then it will automatically charge your card for each month that you continue on in the membership until you cancel. So really, it's up to you for how long you get the membership for. What if I'm getting married in less than 2 months? Girl, you need this membership. Even if you're just in it for 2 months, this $47 will be worth it to get that absolutely nothing missed checklist and to go through and make sure that you are not missing anything. Same for confirming your vendors, helping you out with your rehearsal and your rehearsal dinner, what goes in with that. It would be super, super helpful. So even if you're getting married in a month or less than a month, super helpful just to make sure that you aren't missing any of those tiny things. Okay, we got 3 minutes left for you to sign up and snag the absolutely nothing missed checklist right here. Here we go. Where will I find the absolutely nothing missed checklist once I join? Great question. It'll be in your portal, okay? So in the portal, there will be the table of contents, each section, okay, divvied out. But then at the bottom in the curriculum, there will be the resource vault. And this will have all of the checklist PDF spreadsheets that are spread out throughout the rest of the portal in one place. So then if you don't remember where something was, you can just go into that resource vault and get whatever you need. So the absolutely nothing missed checklist will be there for you. So do I get you as day of coordinator too? Unfortunately, no. This membership is not for an in-person coordinator, unfortunately. But I do help you in this membership to find a wedding coordinator because I highly recommend them. And we actually do travel all across the U.S. If y'all would like to reach out to us, just send me an email and we can do a phone call and see if we're the best fit. But yeah, so no day of coordinator included in this membership, unfortunately. Will you be finding my venue and caterers and stuff for me? No, not directly, because in this membership, it is very much tailored to DIY brides who don't want to dish out thousands of dollars for a full wedding planner. So in this membership, it walks you step by step through every part on how to do everything. So how to find your vendors and how to find your caterers and all of that. So we will be walking alongside you, helping you in that, but we don't do that for you, if that makes sense. Also, I want to put in here that in the membership, you guys can get our one-on-one email support as well. So if you have a question that's not answered in the membership or that you can't find, just shoot us an email, or there's also in the portal, you can comment as well. Just comment your question and we'll reply to you when we can. What if I'm having a destination wedding? Ooh, Laura, where are you going? Does this apply to that? Yes, this membership definitely helps you to plan your destination wedding as well. All right. Oh, I see Stella. Welcome to the membership, girly, and Haley, Erica. So excited to have you guys. All right, we got 20 seconds left. Oh, here's a question. If I don't join today, can I join later? Absolutely. I just cannot guarantee, one, the absolutely nothing missed checklist, or two, I can't guarantee that the price will still be this low. So I would recommend you join today. Alrighty, y'all. We have made the end of the timer. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I am so excited for all of your beautiful weddings. I would be so blessed and honored to have you in the membership. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I can't wait to see y'all in the membership. Mwah! Love you all so much. I'll be praying for y'all, and I'll see you soon. Bye.